Mondraker Crafty SE might be a bike that you're all like, what? Where did this bike come from? I've never seen it before. I haven't seen it anywhere online except for a short video starring Hector, which you should go watch before watching this one, but that is because it is only available in the States. You have not seen it on Mondraker's website. It is the Mondraker Crafty Special Edition. That's where that SE comes in, and it is available exclusively in these United States of America. Being that we are connoisseurs of electric mountain bikes in America, we can't not have this bike in stock, and we can't not review it for you guys. So that's the bike we're going to be checking out today. I'll tell you up top as well, another thing that's special about it is that it is available right now. As you know, with supply chain stuff going on at the moment, it is tough to get anything, and bikes are no exception. But this bike is available right now, so do not hold your breath on it and wait and see maybe the price will drop. It's probably not going to, because they are selling out fast, so I'll just tell you that up top. And I'm also going to tell you to subscribe to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel and like this video if you already like seeing this face and some of the cool riding Austin was doing in that intro. I've been rambling on, so let's get into the review. This is the Mondraker Crafty SE. You guys already know what we're going to be doing first. Let's talk about specs, baby.
Let's talk about specs, baby.
So this is going to be one of Mondraker's bikes that comes with the Bosch Performance CX motor with 85 Newton meters of torque and 250 watts. You guys probably know the Bosch motor at this point, but go ahead and watch our review of that motor if you have not seen everything you need to on that motor. The CX partners with a Bosch 625 watt-hour battery. That's going to get you at least, I would say, 40 to 60 miles per charge, even if you're climbing up hills all day. And if displays are important to you, it is coming with the Bosch Kiox display. That's probably my favorite display for e-mountain bikes. That Bosch e-bike system is going to partner with a SRAM GX Eagle 12-speed derailleur in the back on an 11 to 50 tooth cassette. That's going to partner with some SRAM NX shifters. 12 speeds has basically become the industry standards for higher end e-mountain bikes, so it's nice to see that on here. Your brakes are going to be from SRAM as well. Completing that group set, it is going to be the G2 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes. These are an updated version of the SRAM guide. They're going to be 4-piston, which is a nice little update for you, on 200mm rotors. That's going to be a centerline rotor. Having that 4-piston upgrade is going to mean that you're going to have greater stopping capability, so it's nice to see that Mondraker has upgraded from those guide brakes. This is definitely designed to be an enduro bike, and you have got some beefy suspension to go along with this enduro build. Up front, you've got the Fox 38 float fork with a grip damper. That's going to come with 160 millimeters of travel. Those 38mm stanchions should help you roll over just about anything. And in the back, it is the new for 2022 Fox Float X rear shock. That is going to have a piggyback canister on there, and it's kind of an updated version of the DPX2. It's more lightweight than the DPX2, and it can handle more of a beating than that rear shock as well. So it's definitely a very good thing. The other good thing is, since it is a 2022 shock, you know this bike is completely up to date in terms of its suspension. Of course, as usual, what Mondraker is famous for is their zero suspension, so this bike is going to be set up with that zero suspension as well, which really makes these already great components perform even better. The zero suspension is going to keep you planted on the ground during your climbs and in control on those intense downhills. Another feature you can only get at Mondraker is going to be that forward geometry. Basically, this is all about keeping that center front of the bike nice and long, so it's going to stay on the ground for you, and that rear a little bit shorter, so that it performs much better than a lot of other e-enduro bikes on the market. The Mondraker Crafty SE is set up with a 76-degree seat tube angle and a 65.5-degree head tube angle. So this bike is going to run you $83.99, which definitely puts this bike in more of a premium category. Mondraker is pretty insistent that they price bikes not based on the components necessarily that are on it, but they say they really try to price bikes based on the ride feel and how they perform out on the trails. So with a price like this, we're definitely expecting this bike to perform pretty well, which is why we're putting Austin on this bike so that he can put the bike through its paces. We'll let Austin take over now and then meet you back in the shop for a final breakdown after he tells us what he thought. Austin, take it away.
All right, we are out here on the Mondraker Crafty SE. Stoked to say the least. It's golden hour, as you can tell. Sun is setting, so we are on the e-MTB racing to do some laps and see how this bike feels. Let's go do it. Alrighty, now that we're at the top, we're racing sunset. So let's get the bike pointed downhill in that direction, the fun way, and see what makes this Crafty SE tick. I am really stoked to see how the 38 feels mixed with this Fox Float X in the rear. I've never ridden this rear shock, but judging by how it felt on the climb, it felt pretty good. So let's point it downhill and get to it. All right, first we're gonna roll into this jump. Give the suspension a little beating. Got this little hip right here. Woo. Oh, the tires are gripping perfectly through this corner. Throw it over that jump a little bit. Alrighty, set it off that. Woo! Oh, look at that sunset. Pop off this. Woo! I can't see a thing, but I know this trail well, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Woo! Mondraker has gone ahead and listened to the riders and started speccing a lot of their bikes, including the Crafty, in this one particular, the Special Edition, with a good set of tires. Has a Naxis DHF up front, DHR in the rear, whereas previously, I know on a few of their bikes they had been using Naxis Recons, which are good tires, but not really for the type of riding we want to do on this style of bike. So it's awesome to see them speccing proper set. Alrighty, racing sunset again. It is super windy out. I don't know if you can hear. Woo! Bike feels great though. That rear shock is so supportive, and these tires are eating everything up. Just lean into the corner, let them grip. Woo! Do a little bush trimming there. Alrighty. For a 29er, this bike feels incredibly nimble. That is partly due to the forward geometry though. Woo. Letting the tires do all the work through there. Woo. Foot out, flat out, as they say. We are not going to take the drop. I'm going to take the more flow line. Pump through there. Oh, it feels good. Oh, super soft. Let's go left. Woo! Barely made that corner. Put that Fox 38. Ooh, smash it. As you can tell, this bike feels really good at speed. Just so confidence inspiring. Push it through these berms. Oh, look at that golden light. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh man, I can't see, I'm blinded. The last bit of trail ahead of us. I like to call this section the tree tunnel. As you can tell, you just get to barrel through this little cave tunnel of trees into these nice 2 S-bends. Really puts the tires and just the overall balance and feel of the bike to the test, which so far from what I've experienced, it's gonna handle it fine. Bike is definitely a long bike. It's super tall. Size large that I'm riding here. I hit it on the door frame, wheeling it out on the back wheel. So it definitely is long, but with the mix of the geometry, the wheel is super tucked up against the rear seat tube. Seat tube angle is very steep on this bike, which also makes it pedal well uphill. But that forward geometry with that really short stem, like I said earlier, I have it slammed down, so the handling is ultra responsive right now, even for having a 29er up front. So yeah, overall loving this bike. One of my favorite turn sections of this trail. Whoa, there we go. Get it nice and low. We'll send it to flat. Ooh. Hopefully the suspension doesn't hate me too much. We'll air out this gap straight into the sun. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hard to see right now. Ooh. Woo. Oh my gosh, those 29ers are just rolling over everything. Glad the brakes are holding up because this bike just wants to go. All right, last section, we'll roll down into the step down drop. Off that little hip right there. We'll air it out. Woo! Oh, got caught by a wind gust in midair, and it threw me off the trail. Luckily, I was able to hold on to it and just laugh about it right now, but woo, my tire got caught by a nice little 15, 20 mile an hour gust. I don't know if you can tell, but it is breezy as all can be out here, but that's it for the downhill. I'm gonna send you back to Scott. Overall, super stoked and impressed with this bike. Last little test right here. You get to throw it into turbo mode and let this Bosch motor do some work up that steep bit. Yeah, easy clear. Yeah, let's send it back to Scott, and he'll give you the final wrap up. But overall, super stoked on this build.
So it seemed like Austin was pretty happy with this bike out there on the trails, and I gotta tell you, for guys like Hector and I too, Hector being more intermediate, and me just having my training wheels taken off my big boy bike last week, I also really enjoyed the bike as well. A couple of design things I wanted to point out before we go. You do have the capability on that top tube to put a water bottle on there if that's super important to you. I know a lot of people like to see that. I also wanted to point out the front isn't too busy. You've got some nice internal routing. The kiosk display does come forward from that stem a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna really get in the way too much. Even if you're going over the handlebars, I don't see that thing breaking off. It's pretty well in there, and I don't think anyone's really found a better way to put the kiosk display on their e-MTBs quite yet. You do have the capability to remove this battery if that's important to you, or if it's in a non-climate controlled garage. It's nice to get that battery in the nice cozy warm house or the cool house in the summertime. But overall, this is a really great build, available again only in the USA, and it is available right now. So make sure you take advantage. Give us a call if you want to pick one of these up. Once again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel. Leave us a comment below. Let us know if you have any questions or if you just want to get the conversation going about the Mondraker Crafty SE. And until next time, enjoy the ride.